Henri the First, King of Aragon, known as the Monk, of all things, continues on his realm building, quest today. Hey everybody, Realm Builder Guy here, and welcome back to the channel, and Crusader Kings 3, of course. So, last episode, of course, Henri may have, excuse the pun, nudged France into a little bit of turmoil at the grand wedding of the former King of France, King Julien, who had a very unfortunate accident during said wedding, and has now maneuvered his family, the Plantagenets, and his heirs, it's actually his heirs, into a position where they have claims, potentially, depending on how things go, on the French crown. Now, in theory, he could also do that with the English crown, but he needs more kids to do that. So today we're going to take a closer look on how that might or might not be able to happen. In the meantime, he's also going to be looking at trying to expel the English from the continent, finally. But first off, we have a war to deal with. Our brother in Poitiers is at war with Brittany. So we've come to aid him in that, and ideally he gains Brittany for the Plantagenet family. Oh, chased by shadows. Footsteps echoing down dark hallways. Misplaced. Get rid of this. Misplaced papers in my study. A shadow seen from the corner of my eye. You think someone is following you, my wife, Queen Eleonora, seems to mull it over before nodding to herself. I have noticed some suspicious things in the castle recently. I need to get to the bottom of this. So before that, we do have a lifestyle perk here, and we can unlock Schemer. So that gives an intrigue +5 and a hostile scheme success power +25%. We will unlock that and use now a Schemer. Next, we could go down the seducer trait or the torture trait. Given that he's done some things on the torturing side, I believe torture is definitely more his forte at this point than seduction. Chased by shadows some more. Hidden in one of the more desolate hallways, one that leads to most private chambers as well as the castle gardens, I wait and I watch. Was it foolish to come here? Maybe if I... Footsteps. Moving quietly down the hallway, a figure emerging from the shadows. Is that Irmael? What is Irmael doing here? Our guest. I will confront her immediately. I must be sure I will continue to follow her. When you look now, he's got 25 in intrigue. That's very, very high. I managed to follow Irmael without a sound. She hurries down one hallway after another, and after a couple of minutes, she steps right past my chambers and out into the castle gardens. Well, it is a lovely night tonight. And we can unlock another lifestyle perk. So I already mentioned we're going to go down the torturer side. So you can either go dreadful, so we gain more dread, or dark insights. When you torture someone, 50% chance you gain either +1 intrigue or +1 prowess. So yeah, we are going to go down the torturer route first. It's not optimal. Seduction's very, very nice, but he's done a few, we've had a few torture scenes already with Henri, so I feel it is more apropos. In the meantime, he does feel like he needs to do something about an heir. So what we're going to do here is start to try to seduce our wife. You know, it'd be nice to at least add another child so that we can work, you know, also a little bit on alliances outside of our former co-vassals in France, because eventually the French crown is one that we want to go after, and having external allies, I'm looking at someone like Castile, maybe even England after we kick them out of France, would be the right way to go. So it looks like here we've got a chances are even. Let's go to this battle. And I mean, the chances are even, but that makes no sense. We're losing, have some heavy casualties But destroying the Bretonnish forces was definitely the right thing to do. So now we're going to head actually back home. We'll cross the river into Anjou. Because if we then cross into Nantes, I don't want this river crossing in between us. We've been invited to Count Archambault's grand wedding. Archambault, he's a vassal within France, so he's not one of ours. And no, I am not interested in that at this time. Amorous understanding, or amorous. In my pursuit of Queen Eleonora's affection, it would be very helpful to know exactly what her tastes and preferences are. Pah, this isn't even a challenge. The scheme seduce Queen Eleonora gains budding interest. Yes, we're gaining our strength here. Let's head over to Nantes and start sieging this down. Now, granted, our brothers' troops are in a precarious position. Do we try to go after this Bretonnish army in the meantime? See, they are getting on a boat. Head out to sea. Where are they planning on landing? Oh, they're heading back into Poitiers itself. That's fine. They can go there. Are they going to head into our lands next? Yes, they are. That's fine. We're going to have this siege done before they can really do anything. A reading in Barony of Angers. The celebrations had come to an end, and the evening's entertainment seemed to be over when Queen Eleonora suggested a reading. A clerk soon arrives, wondering what the guests would like to hear, and I see my chance to impress Eleonora. Something pious. What is she character-wise? She's brave, zealous, content, trusting, strategist, a forward, diplomatic courtier. Let's be entertained. Travels to Byzantium. As the clerk reads for us, Eleonora seemed completely engrossed. She later approaches me. Good choice, Henri, she says, and nods energetically. It was great, wasn't it? So, smoldering chemistry, so success chance goes up by 20%. Passing suspicion. It is a well-known fact that courtiers will scheme and plot, but I may be able to use this to my advantage. If I can keep my courtiers suspicious of each other and distracted by infighting, they will not have the time or resources to scheme against me. I'll begin spreading rumors at once. So when we win this siege, we're going to turn around here and go after this force, but we're going to approach them from the south. Oh, Thierry, our counselor, has died. I'll hit pause here real quick. We need a new steward. And Semund would be really good. We don't have any powerful vassals that would be really good. He's a fortune builder, as is Count Geoffroy of Saussure. I mean, keeping our vassals happy wouldn't be bad. Yeah, I think assigning him to that position would be good. All right, now we're going to move across the river and to the south, and then swing around and attack them this way. So we will probably win. They're going to break off that siege. And I do want to destroy this army. Cut them off here. No, they have stayed in place. We get them before they get out, and we will. And the forces are led by Roland Tranvouet. In the meantime, our brothers' forces are sieging some castles in Brittany. There'll be a decisive victory. Sting of rejection. You're an amicable man, Henri, but I do not like you that way. Only God knows what the future might hold for us. Oh, yes, of course. So we can no longer seduce her. Well, that's annoying. So there's another victory. And now we will head just straight for their capital and siege that down. I mean, this will be done in 4 months. If we siege down their capital. And there it is. Victory. And disband all forces. And with that, let's take a look at the lands of Poitiers. Poitiers, the Plantagenets have now gained Brittany as well. Earl Richard II has created a dissolution faction against you. Have you now? Let's take a look at him. He is, of course, of the House Normandy. And here, imprison him. Information brokering. I expect Artau would be keenly interested in the information I have acquired, indicating his rival Beatrice sleeping with Renier. I will sell him the information for gold. His goodwill is the only payment I need. Now I will sell him the information. So we can try to imprison him. Information brokering with the lure of the secrets I held being too great to ignore. Artau agreed to my offer. If I keep snooping around, I may be able to arrange more deals like this in the future. There's much potential here. So, let's take a look at the faction. So it's got one member, Countess Matilda of Evreux. And Matilda. So we can try to imprison him. He will rise up in rebellion with other disgruntled vassals. Don't know if I want to do that. We can revoke his titles. As an act of tyranny. Yeah, we won't do that. We'll keep an eye on him for right now. But now let's actually take a look at England. I'm not going to do a grand tour. We are going to take a look at the situation in England. They are losing some wars here. Queen Adelaide is. Adelaide de la Pole. And we could declare war for our claims. And look at her forces right now. 104. Yeah, we're definitely, we're going to declare the war right now and raise our armies. And for right this second, I'm not going to worry too much about allies. And we can keep an eye on that for right now. See, what I am going to do is my brother. I'm going to call him into this war. And dynasty members, the Countess of Lusignan, will not accept. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about that right this second. We do have a new perk. And here, Divine Retribution. Do not lose piety or clergy opinion from torturing or executing people. Well, given that that's not the first time he's done it. So we've combined our armies now, and now we're going to head in to Sablé to take the remaining d'Anjou lands. Something that means something to both myself and my brother. I do not expect much from the English here. Enemy ally joins the war. King Albert II has joined the war. If there's a need, we'll call on allies. We look at the English right now. So the military is building and losing a war, an independence war in Ireland. So that's definitely of a bigger concern for them than some French county holdings. So there are 2,500 coming in from England itself. We're going to win this siege. And once we have done that, we will turn and go against that English army in Evreux. I seized Black Boarhide after the siege of Sablé. Excellent. So now we're going to take this and head to Evreux to confront that army. Are they going to break off the siege? No. Okay, now they have, but we will catch them in the field before they're able to retreat. No. Now we might be able to. Our allies from Brittany are going to come in after that. But we will destroy them in the field. And then we can turn our attention to further sieges as they will be retreating from France yet again. Alright, that is done. Now we will head here and siege down the remaining fort of Sablé. And then, if need be, we can launch an invasion of England itself and force them to their knees as they are dealing with and losing this war here for independence in Ireland. And then landing somewhere down here would be great. But first things first, we need to focus on these holdings here in France. We control that. We already control much. So now that we have won that, we're at 50% war score. Let's take a look at England real quick. No further allies. They are losing that war as well. Their military is significantly down. So we will land in Dorset and launch an invasion of England itself with our troops. I mean, we've got a very large force. Our allies, another 2,500. I mean, that alone, that's 9,500 troops versus they're probably at most going to get around 2,000. So we have some allies there. And our allies, the army of Poitiers, is besieging straight for their heart, which, you know, surprisingly is not London. So that's okay. That small army I am not worried about. So we have a siege here. Oh, an English army has landed there. One that I am not overly concerned about. We've lost another counselor. So our spy master needs to be replaced with Earl Richard of Rouen or Countess Matilda, the two that do not like us. Well, that's not going to happen. Count Rapoto, he is an intricate web weaver. I believe he would be the man to put in charge of that. Now, I could break off this siege and head down here. They've got 14 months, so it's going to take a long time for them to siege down that castle. In the meantime, we got 6 months here in Exeter and a few days left in Wareham. After that, we can actually move our troops over. War declared. Aquitanian claim on the county of Limousin. Okay, so with that, we are going to call in our allies. Hit pause here. Our French allies to help in France itself. I'm not worried about our war with England per se. And we already have him helping us up here, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. So we're technically at war with these guys, but this is an Irish army, so they are dealing with their own interests. We're going to send these guys over here to Exeter to siege that down. Ideally, end the war with England. How long they have? 10 months left here. This siege is now 40 days. When that is done, we will head back across the channel. We can see call to war. Alliance in the war of Count... on the Count's claim on the Duchy of Brittany. All right, another war. So this is it's apparently the war episode. But if we get Exeter siege down, maybe that's enough to end the war with England. If not, we'll come down here. We'll deal with that. In the meantime, our allies are keeping the enemies somewhat engaged. But we're going to focus on this one first, and then we're going to head down south. All right, so we won the war. So be it. All right, so we have won the war against England, and now we're going to head down home. I'm going to swing around this way to land here, and that will already help. Due to your obvious lack of piety, condition which worries the church, I have granted Count Afuso of Molina a claim on the kingdom of Aragon. Have you now? This count has a claim, a pressed claim. Do you now? Well, in that case, we will start a scheme to murder him and his family completely and utterly. So there's a lot going on in this one. So we're going to go to our intrigue here, and we're going to invite someone. Can be convinced. A bribe. Yeah, 75. That'll help a little bit there. In the meantime, we are dealing with wars across the land. Stress has overwhelmed us. Wanton desires. I must sequester myself to avoid temptation. He's reclusive. Perhaps a new view of God will help me. Convert to Polytheism. No. I'll bite my lip and try to stay focused. It's too much going on right now. He will not sequester himself. That is an incredibly large army. That is a very large force. What we're going to do here is... They won't come in. Limousin he will. And you know what? We will call in the Pomeranians. And then we will call in our brother for that one. And with that, I think we've got everything. We've got some allies to call in. No, we're all good there. And we just need to land our forces back home. Brother will come in. I can't help you right now with that war. A dog dealer. My knight, Semund, an avid hunter, has brought me a man who sells fine hunting dogs. So only the best hounds, already trained and ready to join any hunting team with no trouble. You will find none better anywhere in the kingdom of Aragon, my king. A good scenthound is worth his weight in gold. So a scenthound helps with diplomacy and learning. This one could bring down a boar by itself. I don't care about hunting. Impressive. Will you run my kennels? I have no need for more dogs. Regard. No. No interest in dogs. So now we've got our army here. A claim en Provence. For months, Alphonse, Countess Denise's suffragan bishop, has been digging up serious contracts and fabricated histories. Now Countess Denise dares to act as if it all amounts to a legitimate claim on the County of Provence. Lies and more lies. Of course, we've had to deal with her in the past. A secret tunnel. My agent, Sean, approaches me with a bunch of parchment clutched in his hand. I found old architectural sketches of the Count's castle. It might be a bit outdated, but look here. That looks like a tunnel we could use. Yes, we will do that. Okay, so now, looking down south, that is a large force. We've got 4,000 here. That's 11,000. They've got 13,000 in the field. Which way do we go? Where are the Pomeranians? They are launching their ships. They have yet to come. So maybe we wait for the Pomeranians. So we have lost Limoges. Now the question is, what are they going to do? It's a very large force. I've arrived in Angers to pay homage to you, glorious king. As a show of my loyalty, I bring you rich gifts worthy of your majesty. As a token of my goodwill and servitude, show Count Geoffrey in at once. Double entente. I wait patiently on my throne for the arrival of Count Geoffroy, who is soon announced and ushered before me. He kneels in deference as attendants bring forth his gifts of coin and precious objects. The oath is taken, and scribes record his pledges to serve kingdom of Aragon. Though the Count has clearly practiced the Iberian vulgar vows, he mispronounces several sections, humorously changing their meaning and leaving my courtiers stifling titters. Good effort, Geoffrey. It is not an easy language. So their troops are marching south, and they're sieging down our allies. Kind of want to wait for our Pomeranian allies to come. King Philippe has a grand tournament. We are not heading to that. These are some key battles here. This is an important war. I'm not too fussed about our brother's war at this point in time. Greetings, King Henri of Aragon. It is my duty to inform you that the irrefutable evidence has been unveiled, proving that your marriage with Queen Eleonora is consanguineous in nature. This information will stay between the two of us if you end this unholy union at once. Archbishop Gilbert of Aragon. Of course, Gilbert. Our marriage will not be torn apart by such obvious lies. So, now that more allies have arrived, we can, once all of these start coming in here, oh, that's our brother, dang it. Okay, so he's dealing with that war. I do want to start moving down south. In fact, we will move here and face everyone in the field. This will be interesting if all of our allies and all of their allies come together. This will be an interesting combat. Executions could be better. The condemned thief jerks at the end of a rope and then goes still. The crowd of commoners mutters their approval and begins to disperse. But where's the cheering, the groaning, the terror? Could improve public executions of the county of Anjou with one simple change. More of them. So what that does is give us harsh justice. So control growth goes up. Execution attendance is mandatory. That would be a little bit weird. Commoners should not be wasting their time on executions. No. More executions is always, it's always the answer, right? So now we will see if we can force a battle. This is going to be not an easy one. Right now, it looks like everything is in our favor for a battle. Everyone comes together in the woods. This will draw everybody together. And this will be a very, very tight affair. But it is swinging in our favor right this moment. There you have it. I think that's done it now. And victory shall be ours. Maybe we can capture some key people as well. That would be fantastic. No, we have not. We have not accosted. My agents have learned that Count Alfonso is currently undertaking a journey to Molina, which will take him through several patches of wilderness. Oh, the wilderness can be such a dangerous place. 68% chance that he is killed. Wait, this is not the right moment. Not the right moment. I want guarantees of success. Alright, let's head back to Limoges, and we will take care of that. The Knights Hospitaller have been established, and we have a new perk. Go with Dreadful. We have to do that one to advance any further there. We see here we have Bretonics sieging us down there, which is really frustrating in Saumur. But I want to siege down these lands and then destroy the Aquitanians. So we need a new court physician. Counselor has died. So we need to find a physician. So we have Average. He's a pilgrim. He's a novice physician. We will appoint him. I think that'll do. Enemy ally has joined their war. Meal to die for. My agents have prepared for weeks. The cook has been primed to look the other way. The poison has been acquired, and the duck was gifted to Count Alfonso alone. It will be rubbed with the poison, and the bed of herbs will mask the smell as it is served. The deadly bitterness will be the last thing my target ever tastes. Bon appetit. Healthy eater. Thanks to the duck and the poison vial, Alfonso is finally dead. Even better, in his death throes, a bone gets stuck in Count Alfonso's throat, and it is unclear who exactly killed him. Excellent. Excellent. Alfonso, he has children with unpressed claims. So they will be next. They will be next on this list. Absolutely. So now Limoges will be ours relatively soon. When the enemy gathers once again. It's going to be a more drawn out one. Written in the stars. Account to scare a local mystic and dubious morals. A fabricated omen. Before the mystic leaves Count Juan's court, there's but one question. Will my false omen be one of fortune or of doom? A good omen will lull him into false security. Or bad omen for a bad count. Good omen. His health gets a medium boost. Or only grows more vigilant. I would say let's give him a good omen. So now we're going to win this siege, and then it'll be time to try to break some of these guys' armies in the south. Alright, so we've turned that. They are heading back. Let's see, we have 5,500 here. There's another 46. That puts us at just over 10,000, which would mean that we do have the stronger army right now. So we're going to move this here, and the queen is pregnant. Excellent. So now we can also move our troops over here, gather together there, try to chase them and force a battle. Cross over here. This is going to be a little bit of cat and mouse play to see if we can get them into combat. You'll probably lose. If the allies come in anytime now, guys. There we go. Some allies. It's tight, and it's swinging now. More men have joined. Court grandeur has now been reduced again. And we will be victorious here. Can we capture Duke Adalbert of Aquitaine in the process? Can we? No, we did not. Alright, so the map. My spies have informed me about a hunter causing a ruckus at the local tavern. The man has been spending large amounts of gold and bragging loudly about the great deal he struck with a fancy lord in pearls and silk. Apparently, he drew a map of the local plains for an unknown nobleman. Spies think the lord must be scheming against me or one of my subjects. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. We'll be more vigilant. So now we will move our armies into Aquitaine itself. Regular habits. My agents have noticed that my acquaintances, the prudent Count Juan, seems to have some fairly regular habits. If these could be observed, they could also be the key to a breakthrough. I want someone watching him at all hours. So meantime, how's our brother's warfaring up here? Not fantastic. But he still has the war score in his favor. Now we are chasing the enemy armies here back to Aquitaine. I don't really care about some of those hooks right there. We want to take Aquitaine and stab right at their heart. Gaucher has died, so we need a new marshal yet again. And we can assign Thomas, our commander, or Jocelyn of Chartres. He is a brilliant strategist, and he is an important and powerful vassal. So we will do that instead. In the meantime, we have Angoulême will be ours soon. We have a daughter, Berthe. Maybe an ancestor. Or a good Catholic name, Christina. Sarah. Yeah, we'll go with Princess Sarah. Well, that war is it's teetering a little bit up there, but not overly concerned with that right now. We need to take care of the Aquitanians first. And there we have it. Duke Adalbert's son and heir has been taken hostage. We can enforce the demands and end that one. And now we can move our army to the north and together with our brother end the farce in Brittany. My spy master has come to me with grave news. Well, we do not know yet. Someone is plotting to kill my courtier, Idlal. It's probably Mahbub. A meal to die for. Bon appetit. Die like your father. Experimentation. I offer Idlal my sincere thanks as she stares angrily at me through a haze of alchemy. It was not easy to find someone to volunteer to test my collection of substances. For her, it has been an evening of pain, burning sensations, and occasional unconsciousness. This has been most insightful. Thank you so much, Idlal. A healthy eater. Juan was the last thing he ever ate. So now we will go to Juan. His siblings. He has an unpressed claim. So you two shall Be murdered, my friend. Targets of ire. Though I doubted it at first, I am becoming convinced through the gossip of court that Duke Othan wants my head, all because of a killing. All Plantagenet is a game to him by their association to me, and this hatred has seeped from the head down throughout his entire cold-hearted family. House Othan will regret this. House feud. I have bigger worries right now, as we are dealing with these guys here and eradicating an entire family and anyone who might have a claim to Aragon. Break this off, meet them down here. Isabella Dumbar, claim on Duchy of Lothian. I catch them before they leave, and we do catch them in the field. It's a close, tense affair. Scheme discovered. Curses. Alright, so that ends that. But he has an unpressed claim, so I'm not overly concerned with it right now. This is a tight battle, but our advantage in men should see it out, as it will. As it will. Marriage your son Folk to Marguerite. He has now married the Princess of France. And we've lost another counselor. Antoine has died. Okay, well, we're focusing on this right now, and we begin the siege. Thoroughly informed, the serving staff of a court is often conveniently overlooked as they overhear conversations, clean up, move unnoticed through the hallways. It's also the case at my acquaintances Count Bermudo's court, which presents an opportunity. Some will be convinced to let information slip to my agents. So we lost our Master of the Hunt, so we're going to have to take a look a little bit on staffing of the realm. Probably not in today's episode, but in this one. I mean, you may be watching a lot of episodes, so maybe it would be in today's episode, but not this episode. Another grand wedding we're not going to attend, so we're going to win this siege here very, very shortly. And I need a new commander. I do not have one. Count Angevin of Provence or Duke Père the Peaceful. Yes, he will be the leader of our army. In a few days we will win this siege, and our brother will win that siege. And when he wins that siege, that should do it. Maramero, my agent at Count Bermudo's court, has been discovered. Now the Count has placed him under lock and key. Curse him and his spymaster. So just waiting for this siege to come through here. And that will do it. And it should end this war. So be it. We will disband our troops. And with that, we have secured more lands in Sablé. So we have finally removed the curse of the English from France. And we can add thriving in chaos. Excellent. And yeah, we defended against someone trying to take Limousin, which we somehow have to figure out how to connect all of this. Of course, we helped our brother gain Brittany and then defend Brittany for the Plantagenets. So things are looking quite positive right now. If we look at England itself, the Delapoles here still have their, they've got their alliance with Wales, but there's no interest here. The primary heir is Adelaide de la Pole. And other than that, she has her brother, the king itself, King Adalbert of England. I mean, we can't very well arrange a marriage there with our daughter and the king. Yeah, that's obviously not going to happen. Yeah, definitely wouldn't take a matrilineal marriage. But hey, it was worth checking out. But we've done what we wanted to initially, was get the English out. Now, I have been asked, well, is the plan still to take the English throne? Ideally, yes. But France was always... the English throne kind of came to the Angevin. But the French throne, that kind of unifying aspect, was always a key driving force. If we look also at the 100 Years' War. And so the goal here would be to unify the crowns. Now, there are two ways to do it. Now, you can either go after the English crown first, or, and this is, I believe, the most likely path for the Plantagenets at this point, is to go after the French crown first. Now, we cannot go after him directly. Is far too powerful, way more powerful than we are. We need to rebuild now after all these wars. We need to look at our staff. We need to look where we can expand into. We can see here the fractions in Spain is something to look at. Here they've got 1,300. I mean, sizable, though not insurmountable. Right now our claims are just right there. So I believe it is time for our Prince Bishop to start looking for claims in other parts here in Iberia, because there's nothing to say we can't extend and expand our Iberian holdings as well, and then work on challenging France. Now, we can also go after the French throne in the other way, and that is when we have claims. Now, having claims doesn't really mean anything, but we could then ally with the English or with the other big power in Europe, namely the Holy Roman Empire. This is one to keep an eye on in how this develops, because now we do have a daughter. We can see the English got kicked out of Ireland, so they lost that war. And the Scottish still have some lands here, but England not so much. Our heir here, he has so many claims, but he does have, of course, Princess Sarah herself. Stewardship is already one she's going for. We're going to keep an eye on that, what we do there. But overall, I think it was a very positive episode here. We still have too many held duchies because at the end of the day, we didn't actually do what I wanted to do. And that is grant this to somebody. So looking at this, I'm going to take a look here, see who makes the most sense to give Barry to. We'll have to get rid of that and kind of see where different things lie. We have Sancerre is within Barry, and of course we have on our council our steward, Count Geoffroy. He is the Count of Sancerre, so that might not be a bad thing to do. Count Jocelyn of Chartres. He is one. Countess Catherine. Not exactly great up in the north. I'd like to see if there's somebody more loyal we can put in charge there. Count Sigismund of Troyes would at least be better than her. Count Blaise of Avranches might not be a bad one. This guy's Auguste, your reveler. Hunter, Grey Eminence. Isn't bad. He is a charismatic negotiator. He's significantly less powerful than he is. Count Sigismund is not a powerful vassal. He's from Blois. But if we assign him to this position, we'll make that change and then begin swaying him and just getting on his good side. For her, she can still focus on chivalry. I think that's important. Other than that, yes, Count Geoffroy. That reminds me, I do want to promote the Angevin culture closer to home. And we will start here in Sablé in the newly won lands and slowly but surely start working on that. We look culture. We can see there's some Angevin mixing in here, of course, because these are our lands. A little bit down here, though not too much. It's all about extending that further and further and further, and eventually, it all being Angevin. Well, this will end today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button. And until next time, I am Realm Builder Guy, and I will talk to you soon.